find abhorrent is British people working to the bone and people coming into this country just to live off the British taxpayer and not giving into the country. You support people who do not work. We always support those that do work. And
hey everyone, welcome back to Julian Discourse. Have you ever noticed that establishment progressives love to champion endless, unlimited government handouts right up until you suggest that working citizens should be prioritized in their own country? In this explosive GB news clash, watch Reform UK's Laila Cunningham absolutely unleash on a progressive panelist, brilliantly shaming Labour's open borders agenda and exposing the terrifying reality of imported, cheap foreign labour. Hit subscribe and let's watch the elite progressive narrative completely collapse in real time.
They're not to work. You encourage people. Benefits should be a short-term lifestyle, short-term net. But right now, Labour's making it a lifestyle choice.
What confuses me is that a few months ago, you'd have been making the exact opposite argument here because Reform has changed its position. And I'm curious why. No,
we've always had the same position. So due to mass immigration, since 2008, we've imported foreign cheap labour. And as a result, we've imported foreign cheap wages. So wages have been stagnant.
So if you've always had the same position, why in May did Farage say that lifting the cap would help families?
Yeah, so if you let me, I mean, are you going to let me finish? Or I haven't finished.
The floor is yours.
No.
I'll decide who the floor belongs to. Thank you. It's not your programme. Carry on.
Because of that, people are working very hard, but taxes keep going up, thanks to Labour and the Conservatives. Inflation is up, prices are going up, rent's up, but wages are not going up. And we have British families who are working very, very hard and are not even getting a look in terms of, you know, a better life. So what our message is, if you are British and you're in full-time work, we back you. And that's why we want to lift it for British working families.
So if you are a child living in this country in poverty and you are not from a British family, you deserve to be in poverty. Because
the British people should not pay for people who have not
Well, hang on, that's a yes or no question. Yes or no? Do those children deserve to be in poverty?
It's not a binary choice, as you say.
Well, of course it is.
No, it's not a binary choice. It's about priorities and it's about whether we have enough money.
But Labour is saying all children should not be in poverty, and you're saying only British children should not be in poverty.
As I said, you don't lift people out of poverty with government handouts. If you really wanted to lift people out of poverty, you would reduce tax on work, you would make work pay and not benefit pay.
I'm so confused. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just want to be really clear on this. No, I really just want to get a straight answer out of you, because you're saying that you support the policy, but you're also saying that benefits don't lift children out of poverty. Which one is it?
So you're getting mixed up. We support the policy for working British families because they are paying into the system.
Okay.
We don't think that people who are not paying into the system, who are not British, should get the benefit of taxpayers working hard.
Got it. So non-British children living in poverty deserve to stay in poverty?
No, non-British.
Yes or no?
You are. You like these binary questions, yes or no?
Yes, because if you're in that scenario that I just described and half of your income suddenly disappears overnight because your dad falls ill, you should deserve not to fall into poverty. The baseline of my politics is that no child in this country deserves to live in poverty. And what really, really frustrates me is that you, having supported this policy a few months ago, are doing a U-turn on it.
We never supported a blanket removal of the two-child cap.
OK, fine, accept that.
Never, ever. I don't know what you're talking about.
I accept that. The point is, a few months ago, because I'm happy to be corrected on that.
Our position hasn't changed.
OK, so a few months ago, Farage was saying that the two-child benefit cap, if we scrapped it, that would help families. I would agree with him. What I'm disappointed now is that tonight he's going to vote against that and run the risk of plunging children into poverty. I hope the vote will pass and that won't be the case.
Our message is that if you are British and you're in full-time work, we back you. Your message is anyone can come to the country, have an endless amount of children, and the British taxpayer will pay for them. We cannot afford that anymore. Labour's policy is to just grow the welfare bill endlessly, get more people on welfare and assume that they'll vote for you.
We're talking 1 in 9 children here.
That's not... Oh, stop guilt-tripping me with the kids.
I'm not guilt-tripping.
Yes,
I'm giving you facts, Laila. We're dealing in facts here.
Then why don't you make work pay if you want to get kids out of benefit?
We should do that as well.
But you don't.
We should do both. They're both important.
How can work pay when you're taking half of it?
I completely agree with you. They're both really important.
Do you agree that the previous budget where you're taxing people more is wrong, if you agree with me?
No, I don't.
You don't?
No.
So you don't think that the government's taking too much of people's money right now?
I would love to see a world where we pay lower taxes, but right now we have a budget to balance. We have a debt to get down.
Balance what?
We inherited a horrible, horrific inheritance from the Tories, and it was not sustainable.
Yeah, but you're making it worse. The black hole's even bigger.
And once again, we're getting away from the fact that reform would willingly plunge children living in this country into poverty and would not give them a lifeline out. And I find that abhorrent. I'm really sorry. I just find it so objectionable.
You know what I find abhorrent is British people working to the bone and people coming into this country just to live off the British taxpayer and not giving into the country. You support people who do not work. We always support those that do work. And that's the difference.
If they're British,
and
that's it. If they're British, you devalue the work of people who live in this... My partner's French. I was in Paris last month.
And if
they were in 3 languages.
If that's changed, then that's wrong. I don't believe that every culture should be celebrated equally, because that's where you lose cultural identity of the country. And I think that when people move here, they move for British values, a British way of life and a British culture. They don't move here to be subjected to another foreign culture, and that's what's happening. And also, British people have been deprioritised in this country for social housing for far too long.
Well,
and so what you
good luck winning over a city of immigrants, a cultural melting pot, and so much richer for it.
I speak to so many immigrants, and they completely agree. They moved here for a British city.
And it is a British city.
No, it's not. In some parts it is not. In some parts it is not.
That's so offensive to people living in Britain. People living in London.
I'm a daughter of immigrants. I don't find it offensive. You might, but I don't. I believe in a civic British culture, and I know that Labour doesn't. No, you don't.
So do I.
No, you don't.
You don't know what I believe in.
Well, you just said you're arguing with me. That's what I'm saying. We need to have a British civic culture.
We do, which is enriched by other cultures as well.
It is. What we have now is we are a very tolerant country. But what's happened now, because we've had mass migration, we've had a huge amount of immigrants where assimilation and integration hasn't been expected by the host nation, and it should have been, right? So what you have is a huge demographic change that's way too fast for cohesion to take place, and you've seen it in different parts of the country. And that is that people have come to this country and their aims are not for the benefit of Britain. Right? They come with their sectarian views and they've changed the fabric of the country. London is... I grew up in London. I'm born and raised. I'm older than you. And not that that makes any difference, but I have seen a demographic change and a cultural change in certain parts of London. And that was never the case before. And British people who live here, who've built this city, who no longer feel a connection where they live. And that is because, as I said... Do you know
who built this city?
As I've said...
Jews, Huguenots, Bengalis,
and there's anti-Semitism.
Indians,
and yes, and Jewish people sadly feel anti-Semitism in the city.
Built this city. It wasn't just British people. If that is your message to Londoners and you want to be the mayor of London, then good luck to you, because I don't think it's going to wash.
My message to Londoners is I will make London the British capital of the United Kingdom with a civic British culture. I want to see the flag everywhere. You probably find the flag offensive.
I would love to see the flag everywhere. I think that's a brilliant idea.
But that might be offensive to who you're saying.
I don't think it would at all.
You see, I'm not scared to say...
If you come to Britain...
What you just witnessed on that panel is the absolute collapse of the progressive left's economic fairy tale. When establishment politicians lecture the public about redistribution and compassion, what they are actually defending is the greatest wealth transfer away from the British working class in modern history. Laila Cunningham brilliantly dismantled this smokescreen by exposing the terrifying reality of mass migration. It is a deliberate policy of wage suppression, and it is entirely subsidized by you, the taxpayer. To understand why the British public is so absolutely furious today, you have to look at the undeniable timeline of economic betrayal. Since the financial crash of 2008, the UK has suffered an unprecedented era of wage stagnation. Real wages have essentially flatlined for over 15 years. But instead of forcing corporations to raise pay, invest in automation, or train British workers, the political establishment chose the easy way out. They opened the floodgates to cheap foreign labor. Look at the undeniable facts. The Office for National Statistics confirmed that net migration hit a staggering record high of over 900,000 in the year ending June 2023. But here is the devastating catch the establishment refuses to admit. When corporations import low-wage foreign workers, those workers often cannot survive on their meager salaries alone. They require state support, social housing and public services just to get by. Just look at the Home Office, which spent a massive $5.4 billion on the asylum system alone between 2023 and 2024. Do you see the scam? The British taxpayer is literally being forced to subsidize the very cheap labor that is undercutting their own wages. The elite class gets cheap services, the corporate class gets cheap labor, progressive politicians get to feel virtuous, and the working class gets handed the bill and called a bigot if they dare to complain. Laila Cunningham exposed the exact truth the establishment desperately wants hidden. You cannot have a lavish welfare state and open borders simultaneously. The math simply does not work. Thank you for watching Julian Discourse. If you refuse to let the establishment gaslight you about your own economic reality, hit that subscribe button, leave a like, and I'll see you next time.